All right, so first up, the investigation into the JamCOVID app has revealed that while there is evidence of unauthorized access, there is no evidence of data exfiltration. Gov't, why are you clearing your throat? You okay over there?
If they have access to the information, unrestricted access to the information, how will they know what has happened with the data until somebody starts using it?
Well, based on what was said recently, I think that the entire thing is still under investigation.
Right.
So,
So far?
yeah, so far. And it's not only one agency, it's a number of agencies trying to figure out what is actually going on, right? So I am sure that they will continue to inform the public as soon as the investigation progresses.
Well,
right?
I don't know how much faith I have in that, because first they said that the information couldn't have been accessed. It was really secure.
Right.
Then they realized that there was a small window of where it wasn't, and the information is now out there, or there was access to the information.
Have you seen any of the information?
Listen to me. I wasn't a part of.
You weren't a part of it. So let's not say
I'm just saying.
that just yet.
I'm just saying that so far we haven't seen anything.
All right. So I'm sure that.
But Jamaica's a way of
surprises and surprising you and surprising us and everybody. Well, all right. So it seems that with these things taking place, and especially with the time that we're in now, based on what has been released in the press, is that, guess what? They are going to be boosting the country's cyber security to make it more resilient. And it's something that we have needed, we needed to look into it from before this, right? Because our Cyber Crimes Act, and they're updated, they don't, we need to fix it, you understand? And it's not only situations like this, we're talking about simple things such as like cyberbullying, and those little things that sometimes are not as little, especially with everything that's going on in the world. So I actually support this aspect.
Yes,
definitely, guess what? We need to kind of boost it up, especially when it comes to cyber security and the protection of not only persons' information, but just the entire sphere of it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and it also will increase the level of confidence that we will have in these agencies, and that's how the government is handling these stuff. So, I mean, just get it done as quickly as possible.
Let's get it done.
And let's see what happens. Now, opposition spokesman, a spokesperson on education and training, Dr. Angela Brown-Burke, is calling for the Ministry of Education to develop a policy that places emphasis on all students. Now, Brown-Burke is contending that attention to all students is important because learning is cumulative and it focuses on the exam grades, and if you focus on that alone, they may compromise prospects of future results.
Okay. Well, I mean, you have to, when it comes to these things, you have to weigh your pros and cons. And we're not saying that the education of our children is not important and it shouldn't be the focus, but we also have to be mindful that we have a serious community spread right now of COVID. So we need to be mindful, and we actually just need to balance the situation and weigh our pros and cons.
I actually am in total agreement with the opposition spokesperson.
Okay.
So, Dr. Brown-Burke, I mean, thank you for coming out and saying it, because I've long believed that our education system is some of it is kind of archaic. The focus, how we focus on learning and teaching, not necessarily the grades, the results of tests and exams, we shouldn't be using this as a total approach to say, hey, this child is learning, or this person isn't learning. So, because I have two brothers.
Yeah, but I think these comments only came after the fact that the education minister said that, guess what, it's only students who are going to sit exams should have face-to-face classes. So that's why I mentioned the whole COVID-19 situation.
Right.
No, yes.
But it gives a chance to look at the entire framework.
Yeah, it does, but you can't, you have to pick your battles. You have to know when to pick your battles. You understand? And right now, I feel like with the COVID spread and what's going on and our hospitals being overpopulated and the stress of our doctors and nurses, we need to pick our battles. So let's see what happens there. But we're not saying that we don't need a different kind of structure and education policy for students, because you can't, not everybody learn the same way. Everybody don't learn the same way.
And at the same speed.
And at the same speed. I totally agree with you with that.
Let's
What kind of learner are you, Duffy, if you don't mind? Do you know?
I'm actually a bit of both.
You're what? Kinesthetic, you're auditory, you're visual.
I'm all of them.
You're all three.
No, literally. Like, there are some things that I'm really good at. Just like, for instance, I'll be in class and I'll get something. But for me to really, really understand it, I have to do it.
You have to do it. So you're a kinesthetic learner, and there are other students who, if them hear and hear and hear and hear and hear, them can remember it. And there are other students who, once they see it, they can just put it back in the same place. So I agree with you that, yes, some policies need to be reviewed.
My brothers, twins.
Okay.
Two opposite ends of the spectrum. Two opposite ends of the spectrum. So.
Well, yes, policy, pick your struggles. All right. Days after marking a solemn milestone in the pandemic, President Joe Biden is celebrating the pace of his efforts to end it. On Thursday, Biden marked the administration of the 50 millionth dose of COVID-19 vaccine since his swearing in. The moment came days after the nation reached the devastating milestone of 500,000 coronavirus deaths, and ahead of a meeting with the nation's governors on plans to speed the distribution even further. Dufton looking on like, I don't even want to say anything about this.
No.
And COVID-19 vaccine.
I'm just like, hey.
You know what? There are mixed reviews, especially when it comes to the whole COVID-19 vaccine. There are some persons who are like, listen, put me first in line. When it lands at the airport, I am there. I am there. Send me to pick it up. While there are other persons who are like, oh, I don't know about
Where
this.
Where are you? Are you in front of the line, the middle of the line, or the back of the line?
I am definitely not at the back of the line. But we'll see when it comes. Yeah, we have to see when it comes. And we have to survive. We have to survive.
But the vaccine, none of it has been proven. None of them have been proven to give you total immunity, total protection from
we have to
COVID-19.
survive one way or another. We're fighting the struggle.
So you take the vaccine, still wear mask, still social distance, still sanitize, still all that.
Well, I'm sure that when the vaccination plan rolls out, I'm talking worldwide now, then they'll take we'll know what kind of approach that you're gonna take. Fingers crossed, right? So hopefully we can get rid of these masks. Hopefully we can actually have public gatherings again. Hopefully, you know what I mean? So let's hope. Fingers crossed.
Cross the fingers. No. The United States launched airstrikes on Syria on Thursday, targeting facilities near the Iraqi border used by Iranian-backed militia groups. Now, the Pentagon said the strikes were retaliation for a rocket attack in Iraq earlier this month that killed one civilian contractor and wounded a U.S. service member and other coalition troops.
Where to begin with this one, right? So apparently,
I don't have much to say about
the airstrike was the first military action undertaken by the Biden administration, which in its first weeks has emphasized its intent to put more focus on the challenges posed by China, even as Mid-East threats persist. Now, Biden's decision to attack in Syria did not appear to signal an intention to widen U.S. military involvement in the region, but rather to demonstrate a will to defend U.S. troops in Iraq. That's what the document said. We're going to leave it there, guys.
Do what you got to do. I'm just saying, do what you have to do.
We're going to leave it there, guys. But that's all for our trending topics.